Of course, respectfully. If you say to me you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the
your
truth.
Beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man, and a man cannot be a woman. It's not
Again,
a belief.
But I'm saying in your perception of the world is different from someone else's, because just as emphatic as you are, that you believe what you just said, there's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
Regardless how you feel about Candace Owens, you're going to want to check out this real and raw conversation between her and Nick Cannon. And you're going to want to stick around to the end to see how this conversation ultimately ends. You don't want to miss this one. Check it out.
Of course, respectfully. If you say to me you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the truth.
Your beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man, and a man cannot be a woman. It's not
Again, but I'm saying in your perception of the world is different from someone else's, because just as emphatic as you are, that you believe what you just said, there's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
Okay, so what you're talking about is the idea that everything can be subjective and there's no such thing as truth.
Bingo, that's the bottom line. The main question here is, what is truth? And what is objective truth? Is it what's true for you doesn't necessarily equate to what's true for me? Or is there an ultimate foundation to truth? I think for those of us who are believers, Christians, we have an ultimate foundation, an ultimate starting point, which is the truth of who God is. And for those who don't adopt that worldview, it's easy for them to at least say that truth is relative to the individual. But I've always argued time and time again that those individuals cannot live consistently like that. And you're going to see that played out in this video.
And let me tell you why that. But that's why it's either yes or a no.
No, because we're either talking about feelings or facts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I believe there is objective truth. Okay.
Okay.
A person that is born a man, okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it, okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth.
You know, the crazy part about this is that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this wouldn't even be a conversation to be had. For someone to say that a man could get pregnant wouldn't even have been debatable. Just throughout the last few years, this radical LGBT movement has moved more into the mainstream. This has always been around for decades. I would even say for hundreds of years. If you look at in the Roman Empire and various places throughout society, this worldview, this perspective has always been there. But now, as of late, as our country and our world has grown increasingly secular, we see stuff like this creeping up more and more. Make sure you stick around watching this whole video so you can see where this conversation ultimately ends up.
I will not apologize for sharing objective truth. I'm not going to apologize for not saying because his feelings are hurt and do you see how I feel? Because
so you have no problem going throughout the world hurting people's feelings.
I have no problem going out the world. That's one way to pitch it, telling people the truth so they can better their lives.
You know, one thing I want to ask, why is it okay for these people who reject a biblical worldview to be the ones who feel offended, but yet we don't have a right to be offended? We always have to be the ones, or even if you don't hold to a biblical worldview openly, I think most of us, whether we can even acknowledge it or want to admit it or not, have lived in a society that is largely based on a biblical ethic, a biblical worldview, to where we can't help but adopt these perspectives. And honestly, it's the only one that ultimately makes sense. But that's a conversation for another day.
So they can live in reality and not the one.
But what if someone believes that is a better life for them?
Okay, well, let's play it your way then. Let's do it the other way. There are a group of people who are now referring to themselves as minor attracted people.
Oh, I knew you was can't go there.
Hey, but that's what they believe. They believe that they are in love and want to have sex with children. They believe that, Nick. They believe it. And are you going to apologize when you call them pedophiles? Are you going to apologize, Nick? Are you going to have them on your podcast?
It's a hell of a
Don't you
point.
understand how they feel on the inside when you say that they can't have sex with 8-year-olds?
That is a hell of a point.
It is. The slippery slope is not a fallacy. It is reality. We are living the slippery slope. So somebody's going to have to produce the wall. So there's going to be a lot of voices that need to be objective and tell people the truth. I'm very happy to be those voices. If you're looking for me to, make you feel good, I can't be your mommy. I can't. That's why I tell people, I can't be your mommy.
But see, that's what I was like. It's
okay, I'm not your mommy. You're not a toddler. You're an adult.
But see,
this is what truth is. And if you can't deal with truth, then you're going to have a very tough life, way tougher than having to listen to Candace Owens say, you are a man on the internet.
Man, I thought that was really, really good. And did you notice that at the end, Nick kind of was coming around to Candace's point? He understood the argument she was making. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you can't make the same claim when it comes to pedophilia that you do with someone who claims to be transgender, but why not? These individuals feel in their heart of hearts that how they feel is at the very core of their being. So if we want to be logically consistent in these worldviews, you cannot say that one is wrong and the other is right. You can't say that, because the same arguments that you use to defend your perspective, those who profess to be transgender and their supporters, the same arguments could be made on the other side. Right now, it just hasn't become accepted as our overall society. But sadly, I believe that it's only a matter of time before it is accepted. I think that at the root of a lot of these ideologies is a desire to get a hold of kids. Now, obviously, that's not everybody, but I think that there's a large enough contingent of people who hold to that perspective, where that's their ultimate goal. But let me know what you think in this video. Comment down below. And if you appreciate content just like this, make sure you subscribe and continue to follow me. See you in the next video.